I want to get your thought on this because you weren't directly a part of the bridge between Knight and Davis, but we've had a lot of guys on the podcast that were the Tom Coverdales, the Dane Fifes.
Yep.
Those actually Dane hasn't been on, but the Coverdales
Jeffries
and the Jared Jeffries.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. And we're looking at now a bridge period. Not sure who Indiana's going to go for here at this point, but Al Durham has entered the transfer portal. Trayce Jackson-Davis tweeted out a frowny face. This is 2021. We see a frowny face tweet and we just dive into it and try and figure out what it means. Right. The freshmen have said they're going to come back. They bleed cream and crimson. At least Leal and Galloway have come out and said that. Yep. Some of the 2021 and 2022 recruits have said we need to think about this. They're focusing on their tournament runs, but we'll think about it in the offseason. What's your advice? I mean, there's a lot that's going to go on here with a new coach, a new program direction. How do you handle this as a guy like a Race Thompson or a Trayce Jackson-Davis? Trayce is even a better example because he could go to the NBA, he could transfer, he could come back to Indiana. What's your advice to somebody like that who has such a big decision ahead of them?
Well, you know, you have to trust the administration. I think with Scott Dawson's background, there is a reason there to trust him. You know, he's come from winning. He was a manager on 1987 championship team. Had great stories told on the podcast about that stuff that I didn't even know. He's been there when they've been successful. He's been around Indiana basketball 25 plus years. So yeah, you have to trust that he knows exactly what he's looking for. He's heard the rumblings over the years. He's heard of the complaints from the fan base. He's heard the complaints from administration. He's heard the complaints for alums. So he knows exactly what you're looking for. And I think those guys just need to be really patient. The NCAA tournament is happening right now. You just stop listening to all the rumors. Of course, every name in the book is going to come up. No one knows what they're talking about, and be patient and wait on the opportunity to make a decision. And then you bring the coach in, then you're going to have a conversation with that coach, and then you make your decision. But it's nothing like playing at Indiana University. Like I won't even consider transferring if I'm any of those guys, because when you're done playing, the real game begins. The fun begins when you retire, and you really get the love and appreciation that they probably don't feel like they're getting right now. But that fan base just wants to win, and like Scott said on the podcast, he doesn't want them to lose that passion. He doesn't want them to lose that enthusiasm, because that's what makes it Indiana basketball. It's crazy. So those coaches who sign up, they know that when they come in. You know what I mean? And so it's a good opportunity for those guys to just really sit back and evaluate everything before they make a decision.
Yeah, is there someone on this roster like a Christian Lander? You look at a guy like Oladipo, not exactly heralded out of high school, and he turned himself into this incredible player. Is there somebody on this roster to you that could turn, not saying he's going to get to the level of Victor Oladipo, but somebody who the new coaching staff will take over and be like, this is a special player that we can turn into an all Big Ten caliber guy?
I mean, I think it could be Christian. I think once he hits the weights, once he gets quicker, lateral quickness gets better. And that stuff just happens as you continue to go through your process of weight training and skill training in college. I mean, that's, to be 17, I couldn't imagine that, to leave my, quit my senior, come into college my junior year in high school. I couldn't imagine that. So, but I can see the swag, I can see the ability, but I saw that he was on a very, very short leash. So when he made those opportunities or tried to make those opportunities, if you miss, you coming out. The games that he did well, he made some of those shots. He stayed in. He said his passing ability, all that. No, they want you to put that ball in the basket. And that's what we need. We needed another punch from there. I think TJD is I think he's about as good as he's going to be. I mean, where do you go from 20 and 10? At the end of the day, with 25 and 12, like what's the, he could obviously,
people want the jump shot.
Obviously have to develop your outside shot. His free throw looks different than his outside shot. I've never seen that before. He has more touch on his free throw than he does on his jump shot. So it's like he can develop that, but it takes an inordinate amount of work to, some of the mechanics are not there. He had to change his mechanics, get into his shot a little bit, get forward, follow through, get two hands off the ball, all this little stuff that you're watching. So, with those two, you have a solid base if he decides to come back and play. It says, who do you fill in that has to develop in the Oladipo range to bring the team to that next level. That's going to is the player development there is the plan there in place to bring those guys to that level, to bring them up and so they can contribute to the team in a positive way. So you never know who can emerge, Austin, man. It's as long as you put that work in, you'll be rewarded. But I'm not sure, and I have no idea if they're putting that kind of work in.